Hi, Keith here from Academy of Bass. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to learn about one of the most important scales in popular music. That's the pentatonic scale. So what makes it so important? Well, it's pretty much the go-to scale to play over every single rock and pop song, and there's a good reason for that. It's easy to play and there are only a few notes, but all of those notes fit perfectly and they sound great, so you can't make a mistake. I don't know about you, but I think that's great. There are actually two pentatonic scales, but I'm only going to talk about one of them today, and there's quite a bit of background theory to this scale, which I'm not going to cover 100% of today, because I really want you to learn the scale and I want us to start making some music with it. So let's dive in. I'll play the scale. So you can see it's got 5 notes. 5 notes penta, tonic from the tonic or the root. So the first note is at the 3rd fret of the E string and we play that with our 2nd finger. Then we've got the 5th fret of the E string and we play that with our little finger. Next is the 2nd fret of the A string, which we play with our 1st finger, followed by the 5th fret of the A string and we play that with our little finger. And lastly, we've got the 2nd fret of the D string that we play with our 1st finger. And that gives us... I like to extend that scale and take it to the octave. Now the octave is just the root note. So we can either play, or we can play. Now, to help us really get the most out of this scale, I think it's important to learn the notes, and not only the notes, but also their relationship to the root note or their interval to the root note. Because as bass players, pretty much everything we do involves playing over chords and playing intervals. And if that's not something that you already understand, this is a great starting point. So let's get straight to the notes. We've got G, which is the root. Then we've got A, and that interval is a 2nd. So we've got G, A, the next note is a B. Now that interval is a 3rd or a major 3rd. So we've got G, A, B, the next note, D, and that interval is a 5th. And finally we've got E, and that interval is a 6th. Let's play the scale, but say the notes. Now this can be a bit challenging, so we'll do it really slowly. Here you go. G, A, the 2nd, B, the 3rd, D, the 5th, and finally E, the 6th. We'll go back down to D, the 5th, and B, the 3rd, and A, the 2nd, and finally G, the root or the tonic. Well done. There are actually 2 ways of playing this scale. So this first pattern, or this first scale shape, takes us across the strings, and wherever we play it on the neck, we travel across the strings. So this second pattern we're going to learn will take us up the strings, and between the 2 patterns you'll eventually have the entire neck covered. So let's look at this second way of playing the scale. I'll play it for you. I'll do that again. So here we go. We get G, and this time A with our little finger, and then we play B at the 7th fret of the E string. Then we've got D on the 5th fret of the A string, and finally E on the 7th fret of the A string. And that gives us. So let's start putting this into practice now and play some music. I'm going to play a little groove, and I'm going to use, because our hand position is really close to each other, I'm going to use the first 2 notes. Here we go. That's a good start. It's not particularly exciting, so let's see what else we can use from the scale. So if we move to the next part of the scale, we get, and then we move up to, and in this position we've kind of got a box shape. So really simply, we could play up this box, or we could play down the box. So back to the groove. This time we'll use this box shape going up and down too. Here we go. Up the box, down the box, up the box, down the box. So now we're starting to build up a small repertoire and give us some ideas. So I like the idea of going up the box, but maybe we should split that up. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go up half the box and then up the other half? So we've got, so now we've got up the box, down the box, up half the box, and up the second half of the box. Let's add that to our groove. Up the box, and down, half box, second half. So we've gone up those 2 half boxes. Why don't we come down them? We can play. So now we've got up the box, down the box, up half, up the second half, down the second half, and down the first half. Let's see if we can add those to the groove. Here we go. Up the box, down the box, half up, other half up, half down, other half down. Now we're starting to get somewhere. But everything we've played so far has been linear, and by that I mean it's either gone up or it's gone down. So what else can we play? Well, we could cross the strings, couldn't we? So we could play across the strings there and across the strings there. Let's add that. Up the box, down the box, half up, second half up, half down, other half down, up, and we can also, instead of crossing up, we can come back. So now we get up the box, down the box, up half of the box, up the second half, down the second half, down the first half, across the strings and back down the strings. Here we go. 3, 4. Up the box. Down the box. Up half. Up the second half. Down half. Down the other half. Cross up. And cross down. So, hopefully that's going to give you a start. There are obviously a ton more things you can do, and that's only limited by your own creativity, but you'll have all the fun doing that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. There's a link below to a workbook for the lesson, which has got all the theory and a bunch of cool things for you to work on. There's also a link to a couple of backing tracks to give you a kickstart to play some of these ideas. Now, I'm releasing a new video every single week, so keep an eye out for them. Feel free to subscribe or hit the like button. That way you won't miss out on anything. Look forward to seeing you next time, and in the meantime, happy practicing. Hey, it's only me. Just a quick message to say that whilst the pentatonic scale is absolutely the go-to scale to play over every single rock and pop song, it's not exclusive to those styles. You can use it over anything: funk, punk, rock, pop, jazz, soul, reggae, blues, the lot. So have fun checking it out. Look forward to seeing you next time.